correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
On this blessed Friday, let us give thanks.
So, another Friday is upon us.
WTF, Widow Trio and Freedom. I'm Rob Birdsey. Welcome to our show. This is 2025, everybody. Happy New Year. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here, so I'm a little bit rusty. But we got it going. Today I have Aria Ferrin in the house with me, and she's amazing.
Happy to be here, Rob. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Before we get into it, I want to say you can go on YouTube. So if you go to Widow Trio and Freedom, you can catch us there. So widowed, I'm a widowed father. Trio, I have 2 little boys. Freedom, I'm doing this to free my mind, to free my life, to free hopefully all you guys out there too. So if that's an option, go check it out. We look all right. I think we look okay.
I think we're looking good this morning.
Aria, how you doing? Bring that mic right to you because we got to get this. This is a good one. We're going to be talking a whole bunch of stuff about life and what you've been through, man.
Yeah.
I have to take my hat off to you. I had no idea. I spent a whole semester with you, and you're such a cool cat. You're such a generous person. You've always been very nice to me, which I can honestly say some people here have not been.
Oh.
And that's okay. Like I just think it's actually, you know what, I'm thankful for moments like that, and so should you be out there. Because when someone is less than nice to you, that means that they're showing you who they really are. So everyone out there that knows that they've been a little bit less with me, you know who you are. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned indeed. You got to get right on that mic.
I got you.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
I know, it's like a...
It's been a second for me as well.
Yeah, we just want to get the radio listeners heading out pretty good, and I think everything else sounds great for us. So how is your new year?
My new year has been wonderful. How about yours?
Yeah, oh man, I rang the end of the year out with my kids got me sick twice. I've already talked about that. And I think it was good too because I left the semester, like I think I was so taxed in many ways. I was just down, and once the semester let go, I was like, oh, I can just lay in bed for a minute. I had other things I wanted to do, but you know what? Sometimes you need a break.
No, I did the exact same thing. I watched a lot of TV. I slept a lot.
Yeah.
And it's been good. I feel refreshed.
Nice. I like it. So how long have you been at SUU now for?
This is my 3rd year.
3rd year.
Yeah.
So what does that make you, like around a junior or something?
Around
like
a junior.
Okay.
I'm like a few credits behind, but
I'm just ahead of you.
yeah, you're going fast.
Yeah, well, I already had most of my generals done before I got here, and I was going down another avenue with another school, but that was many years ago. I'm happy that everything transferred over for me. It's
Yeah,
working
that's
out
lucky.
good. Yeah, I'm juggling quite a few things here, and I'm enjoying it. This school is actually really cool. I had no idea. Very lucky to be here. Feel very blessed about it too. You know.
Yeah, I don't have enough of good things to say about SUU.
Good. Yeah. I'll turn that. Sorry, is that better for you?
Yeah.
Ah, there you
good,
go.
thank you.
Apparently I was blasting your ears out. My one automatically calibrates it. I brought my own ones in from home. The Bose, yeah. So I'm sorry about the
No,
Yamahas.
you're good. I got a little lag, and I was like catching up to it.
It's tricky, huh? So let's just get the details. Where are you from?
So I'm from Centerville, Utah. It's about 15 minutes north of Salt Lake.
Okay. And you lived there. So you lived in Utah most of your life and all that sort of stuff.
My whole life, I was born here.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. And when were you diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome?
So I was diagnosed pretty late in life compared to other people. I started developing tics when I was 15. And to get a Tourette's diagnosis, you have to start developing tics before the age of 16, and you have to have multiple verbal and physical or motor tics that last at least a year. So those are like the criteria to get diagnosed, and then anything else would just be like a different tic disorder.
Is there many others? I had no idea.
Yes, a lot of people have like anxiety-induced tics. Yeah, so it just kind of depends on the age and the type of tics that you're experiencing and for how long.
So we're probably all walking around with some sort of a tic and we don't even know it.
Yeah, well, it really depends. Some people think that like it's called like stimming, like moves that you use to comfort yourself are like a tic. It's different.
Oh.
So stimming you can, for the most part, like control, but my tics are completely involuntary. So I can suppress them for a certain amount of time, but You know, the longer I go suppressing them, the worse it will get. And yeah.
Yeah, right. I noticed, so I'm ADHD, and as I remember coming in from a young age, I would move so much. I would not stop wriggling.
Yeah.
And once I was old enough to understand things better, so like 40, no, I mean, nah, I was in my 20s. I think I was actually approaching my 20s. And I readjusted myself around people because sometimes I'd move so much that I would make people uncomfortable, and I would see, because I see, like my eyes are like hawk eyes. I see everything. It's pretty crazy.
Stare into the soul.
Yeah. It's but from doing that, I would just feel what they were experiencing, and I learnt how to bring that down and stop, because I would drum everything. And then whenever no one's around, I'm just drumming on everything anyway. Yeah. But I notice that when I'm more stressed, it comes out a lot more.
Yeah, it gets worse.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. And it applies to my Tourette's as well. So I have ADHD as well, and I'm on some meds for it, which have been great. But I find that things like caffeine, like other stimulants, definitely, there's a tick, there's an upcrease in my amount of ticks.
So you increase, so your ticks become more with coffee, with caffeine?
Yeah, caffeine can definitely increase them.
Wow.
Along with like stress and lack of sleep.
Huh. I've learned through coffee. I mean, I took the medications, and then they just don't make you feel good. And that's one thing I really hated. And I almost feel like once you learn how to deal with it, like that's what the medication does. It kind of opens you up a window of opportunities so you can understand what it's like to not be so overwhelmed with what you're going through.
Yeah.
So once I learnt that, I adjusted myself in many ways, and then I would start weaning myself off the medication. And then when I would come to test times, I would jump back on just before it get leveled out, and then go do a test, and then jump back off it again. So I've learned to coach that, but I've noticed as I get older, I've kind of turned it into a superpower.
Yeah.
It's like I'm 45 years old, man, and I go all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm nonstop, building something, doing something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm fairly active, which I'm super thankful for.
Yeah, no, definitely from like the stories that you've been telling me, I'm like, you've lived a full,
Yeah.
you filled up that time and you are doing a lot. So
Yeah,
props to you.
I've never settled for less. I've always been curious enough to go. And I remember growing up with me and my buddies, we had this tight little group, and Sean and all those guys out there in Australia, g'day. We all had a pact like, hey, we're not going to settle down, we're all like 17 or something. We should go travel the earth and go check things out, and then we should settle down. But as soon as we all turned like 19, 20, I was the last one. Which kind of blew a little bit, because then I had to readjust myself again.
Yep.
And then I realized, you know what, I don't need anyone else to walk this path with me. I'm just going to go do it myself.
Yeah.
So I've just traveled and done things, and failed at many things and succeeded at some, It's been great. I can honestly say if I'm out tomorrow, this has been a great one.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, because I've got two little boys I'm raising up.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them.
Please stick around.
I want to see them at least get into who they are, because they're forming to be such great little humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are great. I've met them a few times.
Yeah.
Just sweet boys for sure.
They're fun. They're not scared. They'll talk.
Yeah.
So, what was it like growing up with mum and dad? What was life for you? Is it a Mormon life?
Yeah. So I did grow up, in the LDS religion, and it was great for me. I'd learned a lot,
Yeah.
and later moved away from it. But great lessons learned, great people.
Yeah, I don't hide it either. I joined the church for my late wife, because she was absolutely amazing, and it was worth it. I don't ever, sometimes I might sound like I'm negative on the church. I'm really not. I actually think the church is good for the community. It's very easy to see too, because I've traveled all around America, and you come to Utah, and this place is pretty solid. Everything's consistently rising as far as growth and wealth and things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people come to Utah because it is that situation, where when you're down in the South, it's so hard. I feel sorry for the people down South, because it's a hard life. There's something about the church being in Utah and their presence and how much they help people and the community. So I think that if you're a little lost in life and you're curious, I would go check out the church because they will help you get back on track.
Yeah, very solid foundation
Yeah.
of just practicing kindness, being a good neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got all the good foundations in there.
Yeah.
What did you play sports and things like that growing up?
So I was a theater kid. In like 4th grade, I did a season of softball and soccer. Only scored 1 goal the whole season. Accidentally scored one for the other team once, if you count that. But yeah, I grew up in the arts.
Yep.
know-
What playhouses were you around?
So I started at Terrace Plaza Playhouse in Ogden, and then, we moved from Clearfield to Centerville and started at Centerpoint Academy, which my parents are now the directors of the academy.
Oh, wow.
Which is super great. If you're looking for a theater experience, you're up north, can't recommend it enough. I learned so many good life lessons, made so many good friends and connections.
So shout out to mum and dad. So they're in the industry then, yeah?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, all right.
My whole family grew up in it.
Cool.
My grandpa taught at Layton High School for over 40 years and
Wow.
Was the theater teacher there. So we owe it all to him, for sure.
I bet you we have mutual friends. I know a lot of people within the arts, especially in Utah too. One of my
cool.
good friends is Richie Cole. He's amazing.
Yeah, let's dig into that.
Yeah.
Let's talk later.
Yeah, we should talk about that. So and then coming through that, what age were you again? So you're 16?
So I started developing tics when I was 15. And the timeline's a little fuzzy because it was pretty traumatic on my brain. And then the meds they were trying out, my memory's not super great of the whole situation. But the general timeline, I was 15 and I started developing physical and motor tics. And I went to the doctor. We couldn't figure out what was going on. And so he was like, if they persist, over a year, like this will be a Tourette's diagnosis. And
That's a long time for a diagnosis, huh?
yeah.
For no answers.
Yeah, well, and a lot of kids develop symptoms much earlier than I did. A lot of kids are diagnosed around like 8 or 9.
Wow.
And my brain, I guess, just was a little late to the game. So, but actually my senior year of high school, so I was 17 at the time, they got really, really bad. And I kind of had like a mental break. I had to do school completely online. I couldn't drive. I couldn't go anywhere. And the tics were, pretty violent, like biting my fingers, hitting my head into walls. And
Wow.
and that lasted probably 7 or 8 months. I was able to go back to classes in person twice, like for 2 classes. And even that was too much for me sometimes.
That's got to be so. I mean, especially at that time of it, your age.
Yeah.
How embarrassing it must be for someone
Yeah.
going through that.
Yeah.
Especially someone that's so accomplished. Like if you do theatre, anyone that does theatre knows this. I mean, most people that are in acting and achieve that, that's such a hard thing to do. I tried my everything and I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? And I was at times. I was good enough at times, but it's a grind, man.
It is,
and that's
for
a shout out.
sure.
I've got friends that are in LA that have been there for almost 30, probably going on to plus 30 years. Very, very well accomplished down there. Still working in the industry, still working on TV, but just small, minor roles.
Right.
Very, very good actor. I'm waiting for this guy to break out.
Yeah.
His name's Joshua Baton, and he's so good. And he actually taught me, and it was fantastic. But seeing that, it's you got to be. It's all about luck, right?
Yeah.
But to go through the arts and to have all that brain power and memory and all that, and then to hit that wall, that stopped you in your tracks.
Yeah, and it definitely was hard. Like I was doing 3 shows at the time, and it was closing night of one of my shows, and I think my brain was like, well, we've gotten over all this stress, like, and just snapped. So
Wow.
yeah, and with that came other health issues, depression, anxiety. I gained a lot of weight, which I've worked really hard over the past couple of years to get my health back in check, which anyone who's gone through it knows is not super easy. So, SUU has been so good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the DRC and things like that.
Oh yeah, props to the DRC.
Yeah, right?
Really, they have saved my experience here for sure.
Yeah, that's a disability resource center there. If anyone needs to go, just go and see them, especially if you're having a hard time testing and things like that. Especially right now in the start of the semester is the best time to do it. So all the kids out there listening, tear it up, go see them because they will help. And there's such good people that up there. They're professional.
Yep.
They'll guide you.
Those accommodations are game changers for sure.
Yeah, for me too. If I see an ant, it's like, ooh, I'm going to watch an
something
ant
shiny.
versus do
Yeah.
my test. Yeah. No, I appreciate those guys.
It was definitely a hard age, I think,
Yeah.
like with the diagnosis. You get weird looks, you get rumors spread, like
It sucks.
just, yeah. But I learned so much. I'm a stronger person because of it. And so, like, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I am grateful for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah.
You know, because you're more observant to things. Did that change your goals in life? Like, obviously you were acting and loving that, and it's
Yeah.
clearly in your family. I
Yeah.
mean, what were you hoping to, before this sort of come across? What were you thinking? What were you lining up for?
So it was shortly after my diagnosis, I auditioned for something called Open Jar Institute, and it is this Broadway intensive in New York. They select 50 kids nationwide
Wow.
to go work with Broadway professionals, casting directors, voice teachers. And so I spent a summer, like a week in the summer in New York doing that, and that really solidified. I mean, obviously I've loved it. I've been doing it since I was 2, but I was like, I really want to do this. I really want to pursue this. And I lost a little bit of my passion and love for it after doing like 3 shows at a time, and ultimately that leading to what we lovingly refer to as my brain break. So, yeah, my path changed a little bit. I still love theater so much, but not as a career path for sure.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch, ouch. Were you thinking about going to like Broadway and things like that?
Yeah, I applied to a school called Montclair State University. It's in
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Yeah. I know where that is.
Yeah, I got accepted. I was going to go for their theater program, and yeah, everything just didn't end up lining up. But that was the original plan, was to continue pursuing that. And I have friends who have and went to AMDA, NYU, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And love them so much. But yeah, it just didn't end up being what I was meant to do.
So you were forced to do a different life. Yeah. No, I get it. It's things happen, right? Things
Yeah.
change. Yeah. So now with that, what are you doing here? What are your outcomes for what you want to do in life?
Yeah, so as I was saying, SUU has been so good for me in terms of opportunities, learning experiences. I'm a strategic communication major, and so but I started out as a media communication major and doing media studies, radio, news, that kind of thing. Obviously, I've spent a little bit of time here on Thunder 91.1, and through this program, I got an internship at KUTV2 News up in Salt Lake City, big news station up there,
Nice.
which was super cool. Worked, and I've done social media for the school. I've, doing content creation and student leadership over in the Still Center. So yeah, that's kind of my goal. Social media management and branding for different companies and individuals. And
Nice.
it's what I'm really passionate about. I really love content creation. I say that and people think I want to be an influencer, which is not my end goal. Like, if it happens along the way, I'm like,
Great.
yeah, I'll do stuff on the side, but that's not what I'm like really looking
That's not what
to
you're going
do.
for.
Yeah.
So what? So you said it's so strategic.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that side, because I don't understand.
Yeah, I call it marketing without the math.
Oh yes.
Math has never been my
Yes.
strong suit.
Yes.
And marketing had too much, with accounting statistics, that I was like, I have to be careful where I put my brain energy so
Yeah.
it doesn't break again.
Or need a break.
Yep. So I'm doing StratCom, and it's a lot of social media branding classes.
Yeah.
Learning about advertising, basically marketing without so much math.
Wow.
Highly, highly recommend.
Yeah, it's such a fine line. So I'm doing entrepreneurship and stuff like that as well. And I know the teachers over there, they're in the marketing game, and we've talked, and it's like, I don't know, man. I looked at, like, I like marketing. I think it'll be great. However, just the business side of it is like, I'm more want to be like on the other side of it, I suppose, if that's where it takes me. But yeah, I've done a lot of sales and things like that too. So for me, it's that was the fun side of it.
Yeah.
So I get that. Is that so? You just focus mostly on the media side?
Yeah, a lot of social media stuff, advertising, that kind of thing. Worked for a couple of social media companies accounts at the school, which has been really good. But it's really just the creation process and the branding of it that I really love.
Nice.
Like when I was doing media studies, I absolutely loved like the audio engineering aspect of it, doing the editing, getting to, create something.
Yeah, I like how it's everything's a step. So you lay and then you start working down on it. I think it's been fun to do that because you can leave it and you can come back and it's not time sensitive unless you're under the pressure. I'm sure, but so it probably works good for you to do things like that.
Yeah, and it's really shown me like no shame in changing your major as many times as you need to until you find what works best for you, because I've learned so many valuable skills along the way. Like the audio engineering thing is going to be invaluable. Like when I get out into the career field, it's a needed skill. So
it's just an added thing.
Yep.
And at least even if you didn't use it, you can still talk to someone that does use it or works for you, and you can, hey, I want it like that, and do it this way, and they'll be like, oh, Yeah, I've noticed that too. Actually, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. And editing in general, I think it's been tricky for me, but only because I've never done it, and I'm not real big on technology. Although I'm getting better.
Good job, proud of you.
Yeah, proud of me actually. From where I've came to where I'm at now, it's not bad. I left high school at like, I think I was 13 and a half, almost 14. Dang. Yeah, it was. I didn't have much of a upbringing, that's for sure. It was very tricky. But it's made me stronger for who I am now. So things happen to you, man, and you can never understand why at the time because it hurts so much, especially when it's people that are really close to you.
Yes. But
as you get through that, you'll realize that they just gave you something that they didn't know they gave you, and 9 times out of 10, that's a lot of strength. So I'm thankful. It's even like with my wife passing away in 2020. It was so hard. I was so angry. I was a bear with a sore thumb. The whole thing was just not good. But coming out of it now and looking back, I was corporate America. I was never home. I was, trying to make as much money as I could. And I did. I made good money. But, and it was ramping up to be a really good career, actually. But I was not satisfied and my heart was broken. And I was away from my family all the time. So now I'm like force-fed into the family because I am the family. I'm the dad, mom. Yep. And it's been such a blessing, man. Like I pray every night with the boys. I'm very thankful to my wife. She paid the ultimate price, And
it's what I was saying earlier. It's things that you would never wish on someone else, because it's heartbreaking and it's hard to go through. But ultimately, you learn so much from it, and you come out a better person. Absolutely.
No, I enjoy it. So, life's looking pretty decent for you. Do you have? You just want to work for someone, or are you going to try and do it privately? Because the avenues that you're going down, you can kind of go anywhere you want, really.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about it is it is very open. I'm not totally sure yet. I'm still figuring out, my path after this. If I find a company that I really love, I'll go for that. But I'm also so open to, kind of running my own stuff, privately.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun too, huh?
I think so. Be your own boss and.
Yeah. Would you do a reporting style, journalism sort of thing? Is that what you're thinking of, or?
I've looked into it, especially with my news internship and everything, and it's hard to get there, but I'd love to be an anchor. I think that'd be so fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, news anchor. Shout out Mary Nichols at KUTV, Rob Bird.
Yeah. You get to spend some time with those guys?
Yeah,
That's
I
cool,
got
huh?
to do a job shadow with Mary Nichols for the day. She's been at KUTV for over 40 years as, their news anchor in the morning. And so you've probably seen her face all over Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
got billboards and stuff. So
I've been in the studios. I've seen them work. It's
Yeah.
fun to see. Like it's cool. It'd be such a great story too if you made that to that point.
yeah,
And then people hear your story, but here you are doing the news because the news is a bit of a pressure cooker.
yeah.
But as long as you're prepared, is that the biggest thing for you? If you're prepared, you're okay. If it's sort of dumped on you, do you get symptoms and things, or how does it work?
I have to be really careful. So I thankfully am on some really good meds. They do make me pretty sleepy, but I would rather be able to live my life and be a little tired than, have debilitating tics and not be able to go anywhere. So it's all about staying on top of meds, staying on top of assignments and, other responsibilities so I don't get stressed and making sure I get good sleep. If I stay on top of those, I generally do pretty well, but I mean, things like finals week are a little bit extra difficult just because of that added pressure and stress. And, social things can be hard too. Like just the other day, I had a friend that was like, come over. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And then I had to text her 15 minutes later and say, hey, like I'm having a really bad tic day. Like I actually can't even drive. So
Oh wow.
I'm going to, take some meds, go to sleep,
Yeah.
try and feel better tomorrow.
Have a break.
Yeah.
Do you have to get a certain amount of hours of sleep a night?
I mean, I'm a very sleepy person, Rob. All my friends know this. Sometimes they text me at like 3 p.m. They're like, are you awake?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I was napping. I was definitely napping. So I don't think it's like really a set amount, but I try to get at least 7 or 8 hours a night.
Wow.
Yeah.
On top of the naps and stuff?
Oh, I take a nap every day.
I know.
I really do.
Don't knock the nap. The naps are good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll sneak one in there if I ever can.
Yeah.
Hasn't been lately though. Except for the break. The break was good. I got lots
Yeah.
of naps and things.
Lots of
it
naps
was fun.
during the break.
Yeah, hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting for you to have that outlay and now know you know what you want to do. You have a couple of options there. Your life is still very bright. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do you see it like that?
I do. I'm thankful for everything that I've been able to overcome because it was really bad for a second. My dad was telling me, this is 3 or whatever years later, but he told me like over break, I thought that we were going to have to find, like it was going to be like this forever and we were going to have to find like a caretaker for you for after we passed away and like couldn't help you anymore. Like we thought this was forever. And I'm so, so thankful that we've found what works for me. My support system has been everything through this process. I'm so grateful, obviously, for my family. I've had, my best friend used to go here. I've had roommates who will drop everything, like at a moment's notice. And if I text them, I'm like, I can't even walk home. And they'll come pick me up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, same here, man. I'll do, if you ever need help, just
Thank
let
you
us
so
know.
much.
Yeah, the boys will be on it. What was I going to say? I had something good there, but you sort of knocked me sideways with it. As far as like, so coming into it and being where you are now, I know you wanted to sort of share this because you wanted to get the message out there, which I'm super thankful for,
Yeah.
and I hope people understand like how tricky the scenario is.
Yes.
So two questions I would say. What was the bigger factor of experiencing it and then meeting other people with it, and then the frustrations around that you could sort of share with if anyone with Tourette's syndrome is out there and listening and they don't know? Is there something you could sort of say to them and how if it gets better or with the scenario with the medication?
Yeah. My biggest message would just to remain optimistic. Things can look really dark at certain times and like there's no hope and it's like really deep and like dark, but it can get really hard definitely out there. And I don't know a whole lot of people like with Tourette's. It's genetic, so I have cousins who have it, but that's about it. And I think representation really matters, and that's kind of what I'm out here to do. I'm you know, a disability advocate, and I think that my story really proves that even with things that people say make you different, or you'll never be able to succeed with this, or you might have to have a caretaker for the rest of your life, like,
Wow.
you can overcome these things, and you might still deal with them, but you can work past them. You can use it to your advantage. Like, my story has gotten me scholarships. It's helped me get the word out there and help other people. So, you know, you have people in high school and they're spreading rumors saying you're faking it, or you're getting weird looks and snide comments, and, you know, you're 16 and you feel like you have no friends, no future. And then you come out the other side with all these opportunities, like working at the radio station, working at a news station, running social media, being on the cover of the alumni magazine for the SUU bookstore. Like, you really can overcome anything.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I had no idea. I had no idea at all. I mean, I didn't even really know about Tourette's, except for like the Rob Schneider movie back in the day where
Yes.
he took the woman, I think they went out to a ball game so she could deal with it, and that worked for her, and it sort of filled her cup, and I just thought that was beautiful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little things. There's I think it's a meme or something, where there's an Uber driver and he picks up a woman and she jumps in, and as they get on their trip, she's having some symptoms. Have you seen that?
I've seen this,
That's
yes.
so funny. And he has it as well.
Yes, so he like starts yelling and she starts yelling, and then they're like, wait,
Oh my God, you have it too?
you have Tourette's too. Well, I think it's great that there's a positive light out there these days. There's a lot of stigma and misinformation out there about the disorder. So, you know, just kind of working to switch that around and put it in a more positive, accepted light for sure.
Yeah. I mean, apart from the symptoms that you have to deal with and that you're continually sleepy because of the medication, nothing else affects you, right? Like, I mean, as far as you're normal, your body's normal. I mean, you look great.
Thank you.
Honestly, I had no idea. I had no idea.
Well, that's the thing is, like, you'll look at me, I just look like any other person, and that's because I am I'm just a person. I'm just a regular person, but
You're a good person too.
thank you, Rob.
Yeah, you've always been very generous with me, and I appreciate people like that.
Well, I appreciate your kindness as well. You've always been very kind to me.
Yeah.
So thank
Do you have any last messages? We're just about to close up. This went too quick.
Oh man.
I
yeah,
know,
time
right?
flies. That's about it. But,
You're sponsored by. Well, how was that?
oh, I have a scholarship from Taco Bell.
Yes.
Yes,
Shout out
it's
to Taco
passion
Bell.
based. It's
Yeah.
passion based. So every year I submit, I tell my story. And, you know, they've helped support me through school, which has been really great. And, I just want to get my message out there. Like, you really can do anything. Don't limit yourself.
Absolutely, man. We can do hard things. We can do hard things.
Yeah.
Hard things, they're out there. We can do it.
Yeah, if you're struggling with, anything, definitely, like, feel free to reach out.
Yep.
I'm on Instagram. It's just my name, Aria Ferrin.
I like that.
And, like, I'm here for you. I am.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. One last question for you.
Yeah.
And it could do with anything, so don't overthink it, but what makes the difference?
I think it's mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of people bumble and stumble through life if they could just look internally, and I think meditation will take you there.
Yeah. It's just all about finding the positive things in your life, finding what's good, finding what's consistent and working for you, and going towards that.
That's so cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. We're going to go to stargazing. That was awesome.
We killed that.
Yeah.
Oh, put that back.
We're still on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
Hey, thanks, you too.
Shout out to Mom and Dad. You
Hi,
guys
Mom
are
and
awesome.
Dad. Hey, everyone.